This is a spoiler warning. The following video contains spoilers for the story behind the game Vital Hearts. You have been warned.
I am the lovely and talented Norman Rafferty. I am joined today by Ractus.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am here.
And Quote Man.
A failure of society.
And, hey, I'm sure your mother only said that once. And Griffin's also here today.
Hey.
Oh, we're echoing. Yes, it would not be a stream with us if we weren't echoing.
Who's echoing? I think. Are you not just hearing the Twitch?
Oh, wait. That's me echoing. Derp. I understand internet. Okay. No, usually when they fire these things up, they're already muted, so that was a little surprise.
You can calm down a little. Don't showboat too hard.
We gotta sell it, man. Gotta really sell it to the cheap seats.
You sell it to the cheap seats by being a cool guy who knows what to talk about.
I can't be a cool person. I'm a nerd who writes games on the internet.
Yes, but you're King Nerd. You make the shit the nerds play.
Oh, King Nerd. I like the sound of that. All right, so today... Okay, so this is the second playtest of Vital Hearts. For those of you watching this in the future, remember that a lot of the things actually have already changed. But today we're going to go ahead and concentrate a bit on the story. Ractus, why don't you tell us about your character today who may have made some changes?
I will be playing Ren Sato. He is a power gamer. His avatar's name is Tetsu. He is a dreadnought. He is a former athlete, a lightweight boxer. His personality is driven. His motto is live until you die. He has no current goals.
Yep, that works. Okay, Quote Man, tell us about your character.
I am playing Rozun Asagama, a partially criminal delinquent, I guess, school kid, but he is playing a can't read that character anymore. Hold on a second. He's using the griefer traits with the hunter avatars.
Right.
He is a sorry, my sheet just got all scrambled at the last second. I don't know how.
Oh, that's new to me.
Well, his motto is, if you can't find the fun in it, why bother? And his goal is to become legendary in the game through any means.
And we also have Griffin here today.
Aha, yes. Today, I'm playing Kuwabara Goto.
Oh, I love that name.
Indeed. He is a Yakuza, of all things. And in the game, he plays Karasu, a grenadier. His motto is that crime is its own reward.
All three of you, it is the year 20XDX, the near future. And the current rage, of course, is, as everyone knows, massively multiplayer online games. Although, for some strange reason in this future, the Japan is the technological leader in augmented reality. Although I understand sometimes they call this mixed reality. Has anybody heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love all these
Is
buzzwords.
Japan not the current leader of alternate reality?
Well, it depends on who you ask, but this Vital Hearts is its own anime fiction. So the future world that this is in, for the past few years, there have been huge strides, and the current leader, like the first game that's going to be like huge and augmented reality, like fully immersive, is this awesome project called Vital Hearts Online, and it's launching in, of all places, Japan. You know, it's not a US game. and it's not a Chinese game, and it's not a European game. It's Japan, and you guys are lucky enough to be the first playtest players in the first launch of the game.
Well, I mean, we're lucky. Well, there were luckier people, and then we beat them up and stole their luck. At least I think 2 of us did.
Yeah, I think Quoteman, you actually somehow coerced someone into giving you a ticket.
I grifted one off someone.
And Ren, I think you just bought yours, didn't you? Because you got a new character now.
Yeah, no, actually, I think my girlfriend would have given me a copy.
Yes, in a romantic gesture that would have taken a whole episode, where you'd be sitting there, and the camera would slowly pan over you as you looked at your computer screen and said, "What? What's this? What? It's a passcode to the Vital Hearts Online. Oh my god!" And
if I type in this words on the back of the disc, I could be entered into a completely brand new world.
It would take
written on the back. It says plot device.
And it would take 9 minutes, during which we slowly pan over your face, slowly pan over the computer.
Hear all the thoughts going through my head.
Pan outside, show the outside, show some birds flying, show the power lines.
Show the bird flying into the power lines.
Power bird into the power lines. What? Why did we film that?
Why not?
Okay. So you managed to all go ahead and play some of the tutorial, and you've actually been plugging away at the game. So as part of the promotion for this, all 3 of you also got selection invitations. You got free passes to go to the Pacific Consumer Science Expo, the biggest consumer show for electronics in Japan, and it just happens to be happening in Kehana Science City this year, which is in, I believe, the Kansai district, or near it anyway. So we have a picture of the Expo Center there.
What's the big giant item on display that's going to get stolen today?
Well, cynically, you've been invited to the event because since the 3 of you are some of the top performers in the MMO, I should probably, in the interest of putting your characters into it, you guys might know something more about this expo. Why don't we introduce some people to some of the rules here? So let me switch to the chat. Now, your characters have skills other than just murder skills. So you might
sensibly.
I can lie.
You might know something about the event. Well, if you have deceit, you can just lie about the event. So you don't actually have to make any rolls. You can just, I know totally what this thing is about. But if anyone wants to dig up any dirt on or find out any details of Pacific Consumer Science Expo, does anyone have any skills for doing such a thing?
I think our hacker's missing.
I've got a little bit of academics.
Observation?
Observation. The expo is there.
Got it.
See it. You sit there and point at it, and there's dramatic music.
I'm on top of this.
Academics was my offering.
Go ahead and make a roll of mind and academics. Anything else you have that would add to it?
Streetwise, maybe.
You may roll an extra d12 for streetwise.
All right. Oh, the d12 was lowest, but I got 2 successes anyway.
For some reason, I'm way high. All right. So, what one success would get you, what almost anyone could find out. Pacific Consumer Science Expo is one of the biggest, Japan. In the decade of 20XDX, Japan has made some great strides in consumer science, especially in the field of neural interfaces. The virtual reality wars have been raging between the Oculus Rift and the Vive and all of them. And there's one clear winner, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, and that is NIE, which is the Japanese standard. Dun, dun, dun. The NIE standard is an open standard that was developed here in Japan, so it's better. And it is uses it basically gives a better virtual reality experience for a lower end machines. And so it is the entire Vital Heart system is being built on the NIE system and is sponsored by one of the biggest gaming companies, the Zakuro Entertainment Group. You see the Zakuro logo up there?
Yes.
Indeed.
Yeah, Zakuro is the Zakuro Entertainment Group is part of the Zakuro Group. Zakuro is this huge company in Japan that you've all heard of. And they make like televisions and computers and game systems and other consumer appliances. Everyone knows Zakuro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, they're pretty big. And with two successes, you can tell that it's kind of an open secret that Zakuro is sponsoring the Pacific Consumer Science Expo, because Zakuro, even though they're really big and they're a multinational corporation based here in Japan, there's worries that some of the American and Chinese companies are going to horn in on their turf. So the reason why you guys got passes to this event is probably because they just want to seed it with pro Zakuro people. You know.
So like in the game, we're some sort of top forming players. Did we do the tutorial and beat that? Was that like a 10% chance of actually even doing that?
Apparently, the Magic guys at Zakuro, when they selected people, thought you guys would not embarrass them at the event.
That's great.
We understood the mechanics of the game.
Oh boy, time to embarrass everyone.
I mean, do any of you want to complain to Zakuro? Say, I'm not good people. Don't send me to this event.
That's usually the opposite message I try to send. I let people figure out I'm bad people on their own.
Yeah, actually, I'm under the same boat.
Okay, well, competing with Zakuro for the event is there's a U.S. company by the name of Altamont, whose logo you can also see up there. Altamont has been pushing a different VR standard that was developed in the U.S. They call it the High Life standard, and they make the High Life VR headsets, which cost like twice as much, if not more, than the NIE headsets that are pushed by Zakuro. And so they're supposed to be better.
Do they also run Vital Hearts?
No, Vital Hearts is currently exclusively running on NIE in this beta. And when they were asked, like, are you going to run on different standards? The company said we don't have any plans at this time. So it's not entirely clear what Altamont is going to do. But what is unusual for this event is Altamont has sent, is sending a lot of people, like a lot of Americans, and buying like a big, stage. And so it looks like Altamont's coming out fighting and is going to try and push a different VR standard and talk about how great it is. So if you guys are into watching those kinds of fights, but also it's the Pacific Consumer Science Expo, so there's going to be a lot of other stuff there to see.
Of course.
Right. So, but yeah, that's the rumor. In fact, some of like they're flying some of the U.S. people in here, and they're going to give like I don't think you would call them TED Talks, but they're going to give speeches about like it's kind of imagine like E3, only this is an anime.
Okay. So you're saying there's plenty of loot to steal?
Swag.
Oh no, I mean like stealing the prototypes and stuff that shouldn't be.
So your plan is to go to E3 and steal a VR prototype.
Listen,
in the middle of a massive crowd with the people who own the stuff looking straight at it as you use it, with cameras on the floor and news crews.
Well, I can't fault him because
brilliant.
Hey, he could
go for it.
You could go to the event, case out what the security is, and if there's an opening, hey, and if there isn't, darn, I got to go to E3 for free. Oh no.
Oh,
also,
that's the worst.
Since it's essentially an E3, are people in costume?
People are in costume at E3. E3 is mostly a press-only event these days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's kind of disappointing on several levels, isn't it?
Well, but this is an anime, so there will probably be mascot people in costumes. So
right.
there will be that to see. But almost everything you there is going to be spotted. I have to balance how anime we are with how cynical I am, because a lot of these press events are going to have lots of press people.
I was kind of making a passing joke in the last episode or the last game.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that while I was waiting for the game to load, I was carving out a stealing or a crime mask out of wood.
You could definitely have a nice crime mask. So
there's a lot of loading screens.
Since they're and since it's made of wood, it's not going to have any metal detectors.
Yeah, that's why it's made from wood.
Although I don't know if they have metal detectors. They probably do have metal detectors, because I heard Americans were coming to this event.
Forgot Japan has no gun policy.
So
that's so weird to me, not having the fear of guns in a country.
Oh, and I'm guessing Ren, you didn't actually get the ticket. Your girlfriend did, and it says she can bring a guest.
I'm her +1.
I can't wait till we get to go. What was the name of your girlfriend? I need to write this down.
I have named her May Hara.
May Hara.
MEI space HARA.
Okay, well, May is not Min-May, but May is more than happy.
Apparently May is a given name in Japan, so.
She's very excited to see the event. She especially wants to she hears that Zakuro is going to talk about the future of the game, and she is very excited because she's never had a game like never been able to play a game like Vital Hearts before. All the other games don't compare to this. It has so much more of a immersive environment. Plus, the meta is just amazing in this game. It's not one of those like stupid grind fests where they just make you everything you do actually has meaning. And the story is so involved. Oh, I could go on for hours about it.
And she has.
And she does. Fade to black. So, before the event, besides carving a crime mask, does anyone have any unusual preparations they want to do?
Let's see. Since there might be a few days before the event, actually going to the location, kind of casing around it beforehand to get an idea of it might be a good idea.
Well, Kansai Science City is an unincorporated city that was developed in the, I think, end of the 20th century to be, curiously, knock on wood, anybody like archive, looks this up later. I couldn't find too much detail. I found much more on Tsubaka Science Park, which apparently is not a thing anymore. So, and once again, I apologize if I'm butchering pronunciations. But apparently, so the government sets this places like this aside, and they're supposed to be like, I guess a weird mix of government-sponsored and private-sponsored think tanks and growth.
Mm-hmm.
So I uploaded a picture on the map. There's not that much exciting stuff about it, but you could just go look around. It's a big commercial place. There's commercial entries. Do you have any skills that are useful in casing a joint out?
Hold on, let me try.
Oh, well, I do have observation and streetwise.
Do you go by yourself, or do you bring anyone with you? Because some of the other players here. I'm assuming that all of you have decided to be good friends and have exchanged your social medias.
Well, since this is before the event, I'm just kind of going alone and just exploring a little bit.
Okay. Well, it would be mind, observation, and streetwise.
Wouldn't you know it? Same roll.
The nice part about the Cardinal system that we're using is you can keep dice separate. So I can tell you, go ahead and roll your streetwise, and if it doesn't apply, I can just say later, you see no criminal opportunities here, or whatever.
I got a 1 on that.
Well, you don't see any criminal opportunities here. It is a standard
Maybe
commercial.
I could take a favored use here, though.
In what? Casing joints for criminal activity?
Maybe. Criminal activity sounds great, really.
Observation specializing in crime. Go ahead and re-roll a d12.
Let's do it. I think that d12 can be a lot better. Oh, look at that.
Crime voice.
Is this where you put cups in your ears? Let's do some crimes.
Crimes.
Crime time.
So what crimes can I do here?
Well, with 3 successes, naturally, the building and the Expo Center itself are designed to be. They have emergency exits.
Mhm.
So, in fact, there was a recent refurbishing of the event because in the early parts of the 21st century, there were 2 disasters. The first was I want to say Fukuyama, the nuclear power plant. The first was the earthquake that hit the nuclear power plant.
Mhm.
You guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But
they had
what also-
amazing recovery time.
Right, but what also shook Japan up was around 2015 there was a tornado, an F4 class tornado, the worst that Japan had ever seen.
Does Japan get tornadoes?
No, usually they get tsunamis, which is like a tornado but in the middle of the ocean that then brings a bunch of water here.
Yeah.
Or typhoons. Sorry, tsunami is an underwater earthquake. Typhoons. People will correct me on that. They don't usually get tornadoes of this scope. So after those 2 events happened after those 2 events happened, the buildings have been reinforced and they have better, more accessible exits. With 3 successes, you were able to spot gaps in the security cameras. You think you could find a way to get into and out of the building without being seen by cameras, or at least your face not being seen. In fact, with 3 successes, you spot one route that does not have any cameras on it at all. You gotta like go in through the trash, go in through this side door that you'd have to pick the lock, but it would be possible, with a couple successes. It's an electronic lock. If you could somehow defeat this lock and get in there and go down, and then you go inside in case the other point, you think you could actually go in and out of the building without being seen by any cameras.
What's a lockpick roll entail?
Usually, picking a physical lock is craft. Picking an electronic lock is academics.
Ooh.
And usually you have to write. And if it's both a physical electronic lock, it's both academics and craft.
What about breaking a lock?
You could just smash it. You could either use your fighting skill to physically smash it, and craft is also the skill for breaking stuff.
No, I meant. Oh well, I was trying to figure out how to use sabotage as a way to just go through something.
And I was going to point out, sabotage is a D12 bonus to any roll to disable a lock.
No, I mean the sabotage stat. I have 2d8 in sabotage.
Wait, 2d8 in sabotage?
Hold on.
Sabotage is a gift that gives you just.
Sorry, it was backwards. I was actually messed up. Sorry about that.
Yeah, sabotage is a passive gift in the game. Bonus D12 to any roll to disable security systems. So yeah.
So I have a small chance to do that.
I mean, ideally you'd want craft and sabotage. Well, also someone told you what the lock, they give you an assist bonus. And also Griffin, with 3 successes, you think that because they haven't made this route more secure, you think security might not know about it.
Ooh, even better.
Oh no!
But
is this expo going to be about crime time?
Also, with 3 successes, you're walking around the area, and if you run into some security guards, but you don't look suspicious.
Awesome.
Unless you want to.
No, this is just. Oh, I'm just a normal, ordinary person wandering around. Don't mind me.
Yeah, so you've got your Persona 5 route all mapped out.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I haven't had the time to play that game. My PS3 is on the other side of the states.
Then I won't give any spoilers. That's right, they released it for PS3, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. That was a great decision because a lot of people don't have the upgrade yet.
Ah, awesome. And Ren, how about you? Are you having any weird...
No, just my normal day-to-day. I assume if anyone was going to do anything special about it, it would probably be Mai, but she's probably working.
Yeah, well, she's working.
She probably had to change her schedule around to make sure that she had the day off to be able to go there, so she has to do some extra work.
Well, we have a 22 episode commitment, so we'd have to devote an entire episode to her, working her schedule and getting other people, and they agree to do it, then say they're not going to do it, and she gets all upset, and then she spends some time on the balcony of her apartment because she, of course, lives in one of those really tall, apartment buildings in the middle of Japan.
Real inconvenient for me, but we
So
get by.
Well, one day, she hopes that, she dreams of making lots of money, but
Well, I mean, she's got a pretty successful career.
Yeah, okay, career woman. Settle down, have kids, play virtual reality games all the time.
She's an EMT.
Ooh, I forgot about that.
I mean, she could just leave halfway through the convention, couldn't she?
Well, actually, May does have a moment when she wants to talk to Ren, because Ren, you know a lot about these computer games and stuff, right? I mean, you're one of those powerful gamers.
I'm a power gamer in the sense that once I put my mind to something, especially games or competitions, I will go through all the lengths to learn and, try and figure out the best way to beat things. So, yes, in that sense, when she introduced me to the game, I put my head to it.
Well, May says, I'm a little nervous. Because, I mean, I don't want to sound, she at one moment when she comes to visit you, and I guess you live in a same story, like walk up in one of those tiny, weird boxy buildings.
Yeah, one of those like 2-story apartment buildings with very cheap rent and kind of shady neighbors.
Yeah, where you look out, you can see all the different neighbors except for the one mysterious shrine that's in the middle of the neighborhood that nobody knows why it's there, but it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's gonna come talk to you and say, so I don't have any, I only have anecdote evidence. I don't have any like big stories to back this up, but we had 3 people come in yesterday and they were all having seizures, and they didn't have a history of having any kind of seizures before.
That's weird.
Yeah, but I didn't get a chance to look over the case history, but I heard rumors about it that they apparently were, other players of the Vital Hearts game, that they were using the console headsets. There's rumors going around that it may actually, be stimulating parts of the brain that may be causing seizures in some of the users. Have you heard anything about this?
You think they're like epileptic or something?
Well, these people didn't have any history of epilepsy. I only was, since I'm only an EMT. I'm not supposed to be looking over their case histories. And then she whistles innocently. But they didn't have any histories of this kind of stuff. Do you think it's safe for us to be playing this game?
Well, I mean, you did get me into this game, so I'm kind of hoping so.
I would feel terrible if anything bad happened to you and it was my fault. I don't know how I would live with myself, she says, putting, clasping her hands together and staring off in the middle distance and slightly trembling.
Yeah, and this is where the music picks up, and I reach forward and I grab both of her hands over both of mine, and we do the exchange of glances, and we're like, don't worry, we'll always be together. We'll get through this together.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. I'm sure that if anything tried to, I'm sorry, I love it.
And then nothing horrible happened at all.
I'm sure nothing horrible will happen to us, even though we're committed to 19 more episodes. I'm sure. I believe. And besides, if it wasn't safe, why would it be on the marketplace?
Look, it hasn't been proven yet that we're not main characters, so the episode commitment that our voice actors put in.
Where everyone's a main character of their own story. Okay, well, let's go to the expo and see what they're talking about. Hey, since we got us tickets to the expo, we could go ask. I'm sure if we asked a multinational corporation, hey, does your toy cause brain damage? They'd tell us, right?
Yeah, they've got to be open and transparent, right?
There could be someone who was actively trying to sabotage the company's, like, not one of us, but like someone who's like a third party comes in
like
and
some
is
sort
like,
of American
somebody
corporation
kicked off the team, or some sort of concerned health organization going into the convention to, yell and say, hey, there's been rumors of your system causing bullshit to people. How do you respond?
Well, we still don't know what TML stands for.
They could attack the people on the stage because they wouldn't be prepared for such an accusation. Possibly.
What kind of stupid hackneyed anime would ever do something like that?
I'm actually thinking of a different movie.
Right. Well, in fact, they're one of the problems that the Vital Heart, I mean, I hinted at this in previous games, there is, just like you might be watching Yu-Gi-Oh! And everyone in the world cares about card games, here in Vital Hearts anime, everyone is obsessed with virtual reality games, and that's all they talk about. So there is also...
People walking down the streets with VR headsets on is a fashion statement.
Well, yes, but those are the really expensive suits. But there's also a backlash going on against it that not only are some people accusing them of causing brain damage, but also there's the fact that it's ruining the fabric of Japan. Like, you know, people in Japan used to have a work ethic. They used to go to jobs and they used to experience life, and now they're trapped inside machines. Plus, also everyone knows these corporations are greedy. Money, laundering schemes where they make people buy in-app purchases and loot boxes and all this stuff that isn't real money and isn't like real goods and is preying upon people's addictive behaviors. And so there's actually currently lobbying movements in Japan. I mean, ideally, some of the people would just like to ban the games outright. But that's why Vital Hearts is going to be the first only virtual reality MMO. Like, all the other ones, like, World of Warcraft, and League of Legends or whatever, are still, console based. But that's also why it might be reasons why Zakuro has like time limits on how long you're allowed to play the game. I mean, you guys know MMOs usually have time limits on how long you're allowed to play, right?
Well, they have artificial time limits where you have less incentive to play over time.
Right. They have like resting bonuses and that kind of stuff. Right now,
but that's more about like enabling people towards coming back more often and building up a schedule than it is like trying to be protective. Here, it's like explicitly outside forces have put this upon the game, and it's out of place.
But it looks like Zakuro, of course, will want to lift that. They'll want to let people play continuously, and so that's a hotbed issue. People debate this in the news. It's like all anyone will talk about.
Yeah. Well, World of Warcraft, I wanted to mention this. Actually, their system wasn't to get people to return more often. It was honest to goodness to keep people from playing. It just got switched around and ended up.
Yeah, the resting bonus is one of my favorite comments. So right now, like, and of course there are other vocal opponents to this who say like, hey, Vital Hearts is the best thing. It's better than life and my favorite game. And so, naturally we'd have to have that scene in the anime where you have protesters holding signs, that say, Japan is for people and, no VR.
Japan is for people. That's my favorite sign holder.
Japan is for people.
Sam, those MMO bots going around saying hello.
They sent bots. Hello, I am a person. And
You're in the wrong game, alien protester.
And of course there would, this is anime, so there'd have to be like we have a street scene where there's actually like people getting in fist fights about this in the streets, and it makes the news because all anyone can talk about. So you might actually run into some protesters at the event, but other than that, I think you guys have done your prep work. Did we lose Griffin? Griffin, you still here?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, you dropped out of the Roll20. Oh,
no, that was me. I accidentally hit backspace.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Oops.
I know we got computer stuff. All right, so you prepped the escape route, got your crime mask, and solidified your relationship. May will remember this. And so the day comes for the Pacific Consumer Science Expo. We play some of our OST in the background. We are a medium budget anime, so we will draw everyone in the crowd individually. We just won't animate them. So we have that slow pan where everybody's like all stiff.
I like that new age thing where they just render 3D characters.
No, we're doing 2D animation cells, freeze frame. Screw that.
Well, no, it's probably that we have a long, what do you call it, a landscape picture of a bunch of people, and we just animate like us moving real quickly, so that it looks like they're moving in the background because we only focus on them as they're passing by.
Yeah, totally. And also, this will probably be the first time that the four of you, well, the four of you have met face to face. So you might be in for a surprise to discover that Ren is in a wheelchair.
This is a spoiler warning. The following video contains spoilers for the story behind the game Vital Hearts. You have been warned.